Okay, let's get right into it. If you've ever typed something like plumber near me into Google, you know exactly what we're talking about. That little map with the top 3 local businesses. Getting into that box, that's pretty much the holy grail for any local business. So today, we're going to blow up some of the old, tired advice by digging into a huge new study that shows what actually works. Sound familiar? I bet it does. It's the question that keeps so many business owners up at night. You feel like you're doing everything right. You're checking all the boxes Google tells you to, but you're still nowhere to be found while your competition is just scooping up all the customers. It is so frustrating. But the answer, well, it might be a lot simpler and honestly a bit more surprising than you think. So, how do we know this? Well, this wasn't just some small survey. Researchers went deep, analyzing a staggering 8,000 plus businesses. And not just in one place. We're talking 200 different cities, from huge hubs like LA down to smaller towns. Everything from roofers in Atlanta to HVAC companies in Seattle. This is a massive pile of data, all designed to find one thing: what really moves the needle for local search. Now, let's be super clear about something. There is no single magic button you can press that's going to guarantee you that #1 spot. It just doesn't exist. Instead, what this study found were several incredibly strong correlations. And when you start putting them together, they create this really clear roadmap to get to the top of those search results. And this first piece of the puzzle, honestly, it's the most shocking one. Why? Because it completely flies in the face of what Google itself tells business owners to do. Yeah, let's talk about your physical address. That's right. If you run what's called a service area business, you go out to your customers, like a plumber or an electrician, Google's official line is to hide your address for privacy. But this study found a pretty strong negative correlation there. So let me just say it in plain English. Hiding your address is probably tanking your rankings. I mean, look at this. It's a total contradiction. On one side, you've got Google in your ear saying, hey, for privacy's sake, if you don't serve customers at your location, hide your address. But then you've got the cold, hard data over here that's basically screaming the exact opposite. It's showing a clear pattern. A visible address, a pin on the map, dramatically improves your chances of showing up for those near-me searches. And look, this isn't just theory. They tested it. They took a home service client who had great, solid rankings. You can see it right there on the timeline. Then they did exactly what Google recommends. They hid the address. And the result? Boom. Rankings just fell off a cliff almost immediately. But here's the real kicker. A month later, they switched it back, made the address visible again, and the rankings shot right back up. The proof is right there. Okay, so you've got your address sorted out, but that's just step 1, really. The next huge piece of the puzzle is reviews. And no, it's not as simple as just get more 5-star ratings. The real strategy here is way, way more nuanced than that. The study basically found you need to think about your reviews in 3 different layers. First, yeah, of course, your average star rating matters. Higher is better, we all know that. But just as important, if not more so, is the frequency, how often you're getting new ones. And finally, what's actually in those reviews, the actual words your customers are using. This frequency thing is so important. They found this one dentist who just crushed it one month, got 60 new reviews, and their rankings went through the roof. But then they stopped. And after just 18 days with 0 new reviews, their rankings took a total nosedive. Why? Because their competitors kept up that slow, steady drip of new reviews. It just goes to show, consistency beats a short-term blitz every single time. So what about the content? Well, the study found a massive difference in impact here. A review with just a star rating is one thing, but a review where someone actually takes the time to write out descriptive text about their experience, that's pure gold for Google. It helps the algorithm understand exactly what you do and what you're good at. A 1-star review with no text stings, but it's the ones with detailed complaints that actually have more weight. Text matters, for better or worse. Okay, let's jump off your Google profile for a second and talk about your actual website, specifically the page you're linking to from your profile. The words you use there play a huge role in how Google sees you, and this study found a really strong correlation with a certain kind of content. The magic concept here is something called non-stop words. Now, that sounds a little technical, I know, but it's actually super simple. Think of it this way. When Google reads your page, it's smart enough to ignore all the fluff words like the, is, and. It filters all that out. What's left over are the non-stop words, the meaty, meaningful words that actually describe what the page is about. Here's a perfect way to see it in action. Look at the weak content. The roofer is in the city and is the best. I mean, after you strip out the filler, there's almost nothing left. But now look at the strong content. Expert Roofer provides emergency roof repair in Atlanta. Bam, bam, bam. Expert Roofer, emergency repair, Atlanta. Every one of those is a powerful, non-stop word that gives Google a crystal clear signal about what you do and where you do it. All right, we're on the home stretch. Let's look at the final big piece of the puzzle that this study brought to light. We're talking about photos. It's all about keeping your profile looking fresh, active, and relevant. So the data showed a pretty clear trend. Businesses that consistently upload new photos tend to do better. It's like a signal to Google that you're still active, that things are happening. But, and this is a big but, you gotta use some common sense here. The study pointed out that its importance can really vary by industry. If you're running a garage door company, you probably don't need a new photo every day. But if you're a wedding photographer, yeah, fresh photos are probably gonna be absolutely critical. So that was a lot, I know. We've hit on addresses, we've talked reviews, website content, photos. So what do you do with all this information? Let's boil it all down into a simple, actionable blueprint you can start using right away. Here it is, your 4-step plan to start winning those near me searches. Number 1, show your address. Seriously, just do it. The data says it works. Number 2, get a steady, consistent flow of new reviews and make sure they have text. Number 3, pack your website's landing page with rich, meaningful, non-stop words. And number 4, keep your profile fresh with new photos. And just remember, this is not a set it and forget it thing. It's about constant testing and tweaking. And that brings us to the final and maybe most important question. I want you to take a good, hard look at your own business right now. Looking at this data-driven blueprint, which piece is your weak spot? Is it time to finally unhide that address? To kickstart a real review campaign? To rewrite your website content? The data is clear. Your next step is right there, waiting for you.